The stars above shimmered like scattered diamonds against the black velvet of space. Lieutenant Mara stood at the observation deck of the starship Odyssey, her eyes fixed on the glowing blue-green planet that rotated slowly beneath them. After years of training, research, and countless simulations, this was the moment she had waited for, a real mission on a world no human had ever set foot upon. The planet, called Arendor by astronomers, looked peaceful from orbit. Its forests stretched endlessly with trees taller than the tallest buildings on Earth, their leaves glowing faintly in bioluminescent colors. Rivers of silver shimmered through. Valleys and the clouds above swirled in gentle patterns. But Mara knew better than to be fooled by beauty. Space had taught her that the most tranquil worlds often held the most dangers. "Lieutenant, the landing coordinates are set," said Commander Rivas, his voice calm but tinged with excitement. "Prepare your team. We touch down in 30 minutes." Mara nodded, feeling a mix of anticipation and nerves. She gathered her team: Dr. Leon, the ship's biologist; Kesh, the engineer; and Taro, the security officer. Each had their own reasons for being here, but all shared the same mission: to explore, to learn, and if necessary, to survive. As the Odyssey descended through Arendor's atmosphere, the world's beauty became more vivid. Mara could see creatures flitting between the trees, some that resembled birds, but moved like ribbons of light. The air shimmered with a soft golden glow, even before they had landed. The landing was smooth. The shuttle's legs touched the soft, mossy ground with a quiet hiss. Mara exhaled and unbuckled her harness. "All right, team, let's make history," she said. The 4 explorers stepped out onto the alien soil. The first thing Mara noticed was the scent, a mix of wet earth and something sweet, almost like honey. The ground beneath her boots was springy, covered in thick, glowing moss. Above, the enormous trees swayed gently, though there was no wind. "Bioluminescent spores," Dr. Leon whispered, kneeling to inspect a patch of moss. "They're alive and reacting to our presence." Mara smiled faintly. This was the kind of discovery she had dreamed of. But even in wonder, her instincts remained sharp. She motioned to the team. "Keep your scanners active. Let's map a small perimeter before moving deeper." As they walked through the forest, the trees formed natural corridors, and the light from their leaves cast strange moving shadows. Mara's hand hovered near her sidearm, not because she expected immediate danger, but because the unknown always demanded caution. Hours passed and the team found signs of intelligence. Large structures, unlike anything made by humans, rose amidst the trees. They were delicate, almost crystalline, and they shimmered in the soft light. The shapes were organic yet deliberate, like the architecture of a species that thought in patterns beyond human comprehension. "This isn't just a natural formation, Doctor," Leon said, awe in her voice. "Something built this." Mara approached the nearest structure, running her gloved hand along its smooth surface. The material was surprisingly strong, yet light, almost transparent in parts. "Keep your eyes open. We don't know who or what made this," she warned. Suddenly the forest grew quieter. Even the creatures that had been flitting among the trees seemed to pause. Mara's heart thumped in her chest. There was an intelligence here, and it was aware of them. From the shadows of the tallest tree a figure emerged. It was humanoid but taller than any human, with a regal posture. Its skin shimmered like liquid silver, and its eyes glowed softly with an inner light. Mara froze, instinctively signaling her team to hold back. The being regarded them silently for a long moment. Then, with a voice that seemed to vibrate in the air itself, it spoke. "Visitors from the stars. Why have you come?" Mara stepped forward carefully. "We come in peace. We seek knowledge, friendship, and understanding. We mean no harm." The figure's eyes studied her intently. "Peace, a rare word for your kind. Yet you speak it with courage. I am the queen of this world. You are brave to enter without fear." Her team remained tense, scanning for hidden threats. Mara, however, focused on the queen. There was a grace to her, a quiet strength that radiated from every movement. Mara felt a strange mixture of awe and respect. I am Lieutenant Mara, she said. These are my colleagues. We hope to learn from you, and perhaps share what we know as well. The Queen inclined her head slowly. Knowledge, perhaps, but courage must first be proven. My people will not allow strangers into our world without understanding the heart behind their actions. Before Mara could ask what she meant, the ground beneath their feet trembled. From the shadows of the trees, more figures emerged. Tall, ethereal, and cautious, they formed a circle around the humans. The Queen raised a hand, and the others stopped. This is the test of the heart, the Queen said softly. To enter our lands freely, you must demonstrate the bravery and wisdom that your kind claims to possess. Mara swallowed hard. She had faced dangers before, but nothing like this. She glanced at her team, seeing a mix of fear and determination mirrored in their eyes. They had trained for emergencies, for hostile encounters, but this was different. This was a challenge of spirit as much as skill. I understand, Mara said, her voice steady. We accept your challenge. The Queen nodded. Then let the test begin. Follow, and you will see what your heart truly holds. As they walked deeper into the forest, Mara felt the weight of responsibility settle on her shoulders. She was not only representing herself, but all of humanity. Every decision, every step could shape how the aliens saw their species. And yet, despite the fear, there was excitement. This was why humans explored the stars, not merely to survive, but to understand, to connect, to rise above the ordinary. Hours turned into what felt like days as the forest shifted around them. Pathways appeared that had not been visible before. Strange plants emitted soft pulses of light when touched. The air itself seemed alive, vibrating with energy that Mara could feel in her chest. At one point, a glowing river appeared, its surface smooth and mirror-like. Mara knelt, dipping her hand into the water. It was warm, comforting, and yet filled with power. It's like it knows we are here, she whispered. Dr. Leon bent down beside her. It's reacting to our presence and maybe even our intentions. Mara nodded. Then we must act with honesty. Let them see our hearts. As the humans pressed onward, Mara couldn't shake the feeling that the forest itself was watching, learning, testing. And perhaps, just perhaps, the aliens, whatever their form, were not the only guardians here. Finally, they reached a clearing. In the center stood a structure larger than any they had seen before, a crystalline palace that shimmered with countless colors. And at its entrance the Queen awaited, her eyes gleaming. You have come far, human, she said, but the true journey has only just begun. Courage alone is not enough. You must understand your heart, and what it means to act with honor, even when fear is near. Mara straightened. Then we are ready. The Queen's lips curved into a faint smile. We shall see. Step forward, and let the first trial begin. As the humans crossed into the clearing, Mara felt a strange thrill. Fear mingled with excitement. This was what humanity had always sought, an opportunity to prove itself in a universe that was vast, mysterious, and awe-inspiring. And she was ready to show that the human heart was capable of more than anyone, alien or human, could imagine. The forest seemed to hum around them, alive with anticipation. Mara took a deep breath, feeling the weight and wonder of the moment. No matter what trials awaited, she knew one thing. Humanity had come this far, and their courage was only beginning to shine. The crystalline palace glimmered in the soft light of Arendor's forest. Lieutenant Mara and her team paused at its entrance, taking in the sheer scale of the structure. Each facet of the palace reflected the glowing trees and rivers, creating patterns that seemed to move and shift with the angle of their gaze. Mara felt both awe and apprehension. The alien queen stood at the top of a shallow staircase, her silver-like skin shimmering with a gentle glow. Her eyes, luminous and knowing, scanned the humans with a mixture of curiosity and expectation. This is the first trial, she said. A test not of weapons, but of heart. Are you prepared? Mara straightened her shoulders. We are ready. The Queen's gaze softened. Courage alone is not enough. You must also show wisdom, empathy, and the ability to make difficult choices. Follow me?" The humans stepped forward, the forest seeming to bend around them as they moved. The trees parted, forming a path that led to a large clearing beyond the palace. At the center of the clearing was a floating platform, glowing faintly in the colors of the forest. Suspended above it was a shimmering sphere that pulsed like a heartbeat. "This is the mirror of truth," the queen said. "It reflects the true nature of your heart. To pass this trial, you must enter the sphere and face what lies within. Only the brave and honest can succeed." Mara exchanged a glance with her team. Dr. Leon's lips parted in wonder, while Kesh and Taro remained tense, ready for anything. "We don't know what we'll find," Mara said quietly. "But we face it together," the queen nodded. "Together, then." She stepped aside, allowing Mara to approach the floating sphere. Her hand hovered over its glowing surface, feeling warmth and an almost magnetic pull. With a deep breath, she stepped forward. The sphere shimmered around her, and suddenly, the world dissolved into light. Mara found herself standing in a landscape both familiar and strange. She was in a place that resembled Earth, but twisted. Cities were crumbling, skies burned with colors she had never seen, and shadows moved unnaturally across the horizon. She could hear whispers, voices that seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. A figure appeared ahead of her, a reflection of herself. This Mara was stronger, braver, but also weary. Her eyes held a mixture of determination and fear. "Who are you?" Mara asked, her voice trembling slightly. "I am you," the reflection said softly. "I am all that you could become, all that you fear, and all that you hope to be. The mirror shows not what is, but what could be if you act with courage or with fear." Mara felt a chill. She realized that this trial would not test her muscles or skill. It would test her soul. She had to confront her own doubts, her fears of failure, and her capacity to make the right choices even when the stakes were high. The reflection moved aside, revealing a path. Along it were 3 challenges, each more daunting than the last. The first was a chasm filled with swirling, shadowy figures that whispered doubts into her mind. "You are not strong enough. You will fail. They will laugh at you." Mara shook her head. "I am stronger than you think," she said aloud. Each step she took pushed back the shadows. She felt fear, yes, but also determination. Her training, her experiences, and her belief in her team guided her forward. When she reached the other side, the shadows dissipated. Mara exhaled sharply, her heart racing. "1 challenge done," she whispered. 2 to go. The second challenge appeared as a large bridge suspended over an endless void. Across it, a small alien child cried for help, stranded in the middle. But the bridge shook violently with invisible forces, threatening to hurl Mara into the void. Mara froze. The child's cries echoed in her mind, pulling at her heart. She knew she could try to save the child, but the risk was high. 1 misstep and she could fall. Yet she also knew that leaving the child behind was not an option. Humanity's courage was measured not by safety, but by willingness to act for others. Taking a deep breath, Mara stepped onto the bridge. She moved carefully, 1 foot in front of the other, steadying herself with the tiniest shifts in balance. The wind, or whatever force challenged her, battered her, but she pressed on. Reaching the child, she scooped it into her arms, feeling the warmth and relief in its tiny hands. Finally, she crossed the bridge safely, placing the child on solid ground. The void seemed to retreat and a soft glow surrounded her. Mara realized that courage was not only about facing danger, it was about protecting others, even at personal risk. The third challenge appeared as a room filled with mirrors, reflecting countless versions of herself. Some looked weak, some proud, some scared. A voice echoed around her asking, "Which path will you choose? Which self will you become?" Mara stepped forward, focusing on her own reflection. Not the strongest nor the bravest, but the one who never gave up. "I will be the one who acts with honor," she said firmly. The mirrors shimmered, then vanished, leaving her alone in a bright, empty space. A warmth enveloped her, and she felt herself lifted gently. She was no longer alone. The forest of Arendor surrounded her again, the glowing platform beneath her feet. The alien queen stood before her, a faint smile on her face. "You have done well, human," the queen said. "You have shown courage, empathy, and wisdom. But remember, these are only the first trials. True courage will face fear without hesitation, but true heart acts for the good of others even when unseen or unrecognized." Mara nodded, catching her breath. "I understand. I will do my best." Dr. Leon, Kesh, and Taro emerged from the sphere one by one, each having faced their own trials. Though visibly shaken, they carried the same sense of pride. Mara felt a swell of respect for her team. They had all proven themselves worthy, not only in skill but in heart. The Queen's eyes softened. You and your companions are unlike any humans I have observed. Your courage is remarkable, but you must continue to learn. There are trials ahead that will test your unity, your loyalty, and your ability to lead. Only then will you truly earn the trust of my people. Mara exchanged a glance with her team. We are ready, she said. They were battered by fear and exhaustion, but determination burned brighter than ever. As they followed the Queen through a shimmering corridor, Mara could not help but marvel at Arendor. Every moment here was filled with wonder, the glowing flora, the floating rivers, and the gentle hum of alien life. Yet she knew the beauty of this world was only part of the test. The real challenge lay within themselves, and how they would rise to meet it. At the edge of the corridor, the Queen paused. You have taken the first step. The next trial will demand teamwork, trust, and insight. Fail, and you may not return. Succeed, and you will begin to understand what it truly means to be brave. Mara tightened her grip on her utility belt, feeling the familiar weight of responsibility. We will not fail, she said quietly, more to herself than anyone else. The Queen's gaze lingered on her, a hint of admiration in her luminous eyes. Perhaps, she murmured, perhaps humanity is more than what the stars expect. As they stepped into the next chamber, Mara felt a sense of anticipation. The trials had just begun, and already they had revealed truths she had never known about herself and her companions. Yet she also felt a growing confidence. Humanity had faced challenges before, and they had risen. This was no different, just a greater stage, with stakes higher than any battlefield they had known. And Mara, standing at the heart of an alien world, understood that courage, empathy, and honor were not just qualities. They were the essence of humanity. The Queen's voice echoed softly as they disappeared into the next trial. May your hearts remain steadfast, for only the bravest of hearts can shape the destiny of worlds. The air in the chamber shifted as Mara and her team stepped deeper into the alien palace. The walls glowed softly, revealing intricate patterns that moved like living currents of light. Every step they took echoed faintly, as if the palace itself was aware of their presence. This place. It's incredible, whispered Dr. Leon, her eyes scanning the luminous walls. It's like the palace is alive. Mara nodded but kept her focus forward. Stay alert. We don't know what's ahead. The alien Queen led them into a vast hall, its ceiling stretching higher than the tallest trees on Earth. At the center stood a circle of alien figures, taller and more imposing than any Mara had seen. Their expressions were hard, their postures defensive. Unlike the Queen, these aliens radiated suspicion and wariness. These are my advisors, the Queen said, her voice calm yet firm. Some of them do not trust outsiders. They believe your kind may bring harm to our world. You must earn not only my trust, but theirs as well. One of the aliens, tall with deep blue skin and piercing silver eyes, stepped forward. We do not allow strangers to walk freely among us. How do we know you are worthy of our confidence? Mara stepped forward, her hand slightly raised in a gesture of peace. We understand your concern. We have no desire to harm anyone. We come with curiosity and respect, and we want to learn from your world. The blue-skinned alien's eyes narrowed. Words are easy. Actions reveal truth. We will test you. Before Mara could respond, a sudden tremor shook the floor. Lights flickered and the air grew tense. The advisor's eyes widened in alarm. From the shadowed corners of the hall, figures emerged. Rogue aliens, taller and darker than the others, moving with stealth and intent. Their leader, a figure with jagged markings across her silver skin, glared at the humans with contempt. You dare enter our world and claim friendship? She hissed. We will see if your courage is as strong as you claim. Mara instinctively drew her sidearm, though she knew she did not want to harm the aliens unless necessary. Team, stay together. Remember, trust and action, not fear. The rogue aliens attacked not with weapons, but with strange energy pulses that distorted the air. Mara and her team dodged and weaved, using the hall's natural light patterns for cover. Kesh activated a small device, creating a protective barrier around them. Move to the center, Mara shouted. We need higher ground. Dr. Leon, who had been scanning the rogue aliens, spotted something unusual. Their pulses are reactive. They follow aggression, but they hesitate when we act defensively. Mara nodded. Then we defend, but don't strike. Show them we are not a threat, but we won't back down. They moved as a unit, using strategy instead of force. Mara guided her team, keeping the barrier between them and the attackers. Taro used his agility to draw the rogues' attention, leading them into areas where the energy pulses could not reach them effectively. The rogue leader growled, frustrated that the humans resisted in a way she had not expected. After what felt like hours but was only minutes, the rogue aliens hesitated. Mara took a deep breath and stepped forward. "We do not want to fight you," she said firmly. "We only wish to understand. We act with respect and courage, not to dominate or destroy." The leader's eyes flickered. Mara's words were simple, yet they carried truth. There was no deceit in her tone, no fear in her posture. She stood with calm determination, showing that humans could face danger without succumbing to hatred or violence. Slowly, the rogue aliens retreated, their forms blending with the shadows. The blue-skinned advisor nodded, impressed. "Perhaps there is more to your kind than I believed." The Queen's voice echoed through the hall. "You have done well. Courage is important, but courage alone does not define bravery. The ability to face conflict with wisdom and restraint, this is what makes a heart truly strong." Mara lowered her weapon, feeling a mixture of relief and pride. "We face them together. That's what makes us strong," she said, glancing at her team. They nodded, exhausted but united. Dr. Leon stepped closer to Mara. I didn't think we could handle them without hurting anyone. But somehow we did it," Mara smiled faintly. "It's not just about surviving. It's about how we survive. That's what they're testing." The Queen gestured for them to follow, leading them through a long corridor lined with crystalline panels. Each panel displayed images of the planet's history. Alien civilizations rising and falling, natural disasters, and moments of peace. Mara studied the images, realizing that Arendor had a long and complex history, much like humanity's own. "Your species has faced great challenges," the Queen said softly. "We watch for similar qualities in others. Strength tempered with wisdom, courage guided by heart. These are rare." Mara nodded. "We learn from our mistakes and from each other. That is how we survive, and how we grow." The corridor opened into a circular chamber filled with a soft golden light. At its center was a platform, and on it floated a glowing orb. "This is the Orb of Insight," the Queen explained. "It reveals not what is seen by the eyes, but what is felt by the heart. Approach it, and it will show the truths you carry within." Mara stepped forward, followed by her team. As she placed her hands on the orb, a wave of warmth surged through her. She felt memories of Earth, her family, her friends, her training, the sacrifices she had witnessed. She saw herself facing impossible odds, not with weapons, but with decisions that demanded courage, compassion, and clarity. Her heart swelled with understanding. Courage was not the absence of fear. It was action in spite of it. Leadership was not about dominance. It was about guiding others with honor and integrity. Humanity's strength lay not in their technology or power, but in their hearts, the ability to care, to fight for what is right, and to rise even when the odds seemed impossible. When Mara stepped away from the orb, the Queen's eyes met hers. "You have faced your first true test. You showed courage under threat, wisdom in choice, and compassion even when challenged. Your heart is as brave as any I have seen." The blue-skinned advisor approached Mara, nodding respectfully. "I see now. Your kind is remarkable. Perhaps there is hope in the stars after all." Mara's team gathered around her, and together they felt a shared sense of accomplishment. They had faced real danger, and they had not only survived, they had upheld their values, their humanity, and their unity. The Queen's voice broke the silence. "There are still trials ahead, challenges that will test your loyalty, your skill, and your ability to inspire others. But remember this: strength is temporary. Courage is fleeting. Only the heart remains eternal." Mara took a deep breath. "We will not falter," she said. "We will face whatever comes next, together." As they followed the Queen to the next chamber, Mara glanced back at the shadows where the rogue aliens had disappeared. She understood that fear and mistrust existed everywhere, even among those who appeared wise and noble. Yet she also understood that fear could be overcome with understanding, and mistrust could be softened with courage. In that moment, Mara felt the true essence of humanity. They were explorers, thinkers, and fighters, but above all, they were a species capable of hope, compassion, and bravery. In a universe full of the unknown, that was a power unlike any other. The chamber ahead shimmered with light, signaling the beginning of the next trial. Mara's heart pounded with anticipation, but fear no longer controlled her. She was ready. Humanity was ready. The Queen's voice echoed softly behind them. "Prepare your hearts. The trials are not yet over, but you have shown what it means to be brave, and that is the first step toward greatness." Mara led her team forward, knowing that the shadows of conflict would always appear, but that together with courage and unity, they could face anything the universe sent their way. The chamber they entered was vast and bathed in a golden light that seemed to come from nowhere and everywhere at once. The walls shimmered like liquid metal, reflecting the explorers' forms with subtle distortions. The air was warm, almost comforting, yet charged with a strange energy that made Mara's chest tighten with anticipation. "This is the trial of the heart," the alien queen said, her voice resonating through the hall. "Here, courage alone will not suffice. You must make choices that challenge your compassion, your loyalty, and your understanding of what it means to be truly brave." Mara took a deep breath and adjusted her utility belt. Her team, Dr. Leon, Kesh, and Taro, stood close behind her. Each of them carried a mixture of determination and apprehension in their eyes. They had passed the first challenges with courage and skill, but Mara sensed this trial would touch something deeper. The Queen gestured, and the chamber shifted. The floor beneath them glowed, forming a path that led to 3 floating platforms, each suspended over a seemingly endless chasm. Mara's stomach knotted as she looked down. The void below seemed alive, swirling with shadows and light, reflecting fears she didn't even know she had. "These platforms will test your choices," the Queen explained. "On each lies a challenge not only of skill but of the heart. What you choose to do and how you act will show whether humanity is truly worthy of our trust." Mara stepped onto the first platform. It hummed beneath her feet, responding to her weight and movements. In front of her appeared a holographic vision, a village on a distant planet engulfed in a massive storm. People were trapped under collapsing buildings, their cries echoing in the chamber. A voice, soft but insistent, asked, "Will you save them, knowing you may fail?" Mara's mind raced. The risk was immense. One wrong move and she could fall, or worse, fail to save the people. But hesitation was not an option. Courage meant action. She carefully navigated the collapsing streets, moving quickly to lift debris, carry the injured, and guide the villagers to safety. Each decision weighed heavily, yet she moved with determination and clarity. When the vision ended, Mara found herself back on the platform. She exhaled, her heart pounding. I did what I had to," she whispered. "I chose to help." The Queen's eyes glimmered. "Compassion is the first step. Courage without compassion is hollow. Now face the second challenge." The second platform rose before her, larger than the first, with multiple pathways stretching across the void. At its center was a smaller figure, a childlike alien, trapped on a fragile bridge swaying above the darkness. But there was another element. This time, a holographic representation of Mara's own team was in danger. To save the child, she would have to risk her own safety and slow her progress to protect them. Mara's heart ached. She could feel the weight of responsibility pressing down on her. Every instinct screamed to reach the child quickly, but she could not abandon her team. She signaled to Dr. Leon and Taro, communicating silently. "Stay close. Trust me." Step by step, Mara crossed the bridge, carefully balancing the child in her arms. The platform shook violently, testing her stability, yet she held fast. Every movement required precision and care. When she reached the center, she set the child down safely and turned to help her teammates navigate the precarious path. Together, they moved as one, showing unity and trust. Mara realized that true courage was never solitary. It thrived when people relied on each other, when decisions were guided not only by self-preservation, but by loyalty and care. The platform dissolved, leaving Mara and her team on the third and final stage. Here, the challenge was unlike the others. A mirror appeared before them, showing visions of themselves making impossible choices, sacrifices that could save some but endanger others, acts of bravery that could inspire or destroy. "You must choose who to save," the Queen's voice intoned. You will not see the results until the trial ends. Act not for glory but for what you believe is right. Mara's breath caught. This was the hardest test yet. Not action under pressure, but decision under uncertainty. She thought of her team, of the aliens they had met, of the people they had helped in her visions. Every instinct, every lesson from the past trials guided her choice. I choose to act with my heart, Mara whispered. She placed her hands on the mirror, focusing on decisions that prioritized life, trust, and honor. The mirror shimmered and the visions blurred, revealing not outcomes but intentions. Her choice was clear, not to act selfishly, but with courage that protected and inspired others. The golden light of the chamber intensified. Mara felt warmth spread through her body. As if the world itself acknowledged her decision, her team joined her, each having made similar choices in their own reflections. They stood together, united by values that transcended fear, doubt, or uncertainty. The Queen stepped forward, her luminous eyes fixed on Mara. You have done what few could. You faced danger, fear, and impossible choices with a heart unbroken and a mind unyielding. Courage tempered by compassion. This is the essence of humanity. Mara felt a swell of pride, not in herself alone, but in her team and in humanity as a whole. They had faced an alien world, challenges beyond anything they had known, and they had shown that the human heart was capable of greatness. The Queen continued. There is one final act required to complete this trial. You must step forward and place your hand upon the heart of Arendor, a source of energy that sustains this planet and its people. Doing so requires trust, for the heart reacts to the intent of the one who touches it. Mara moved toward a large crystalline structure at the center of the chamber. Its surface pulsed like a heartbeat, radiating energy that felt alive. She hesitated for only a moment before placing her hand upon it. The energy surged through her, and images flashed before her eyes, visions of Earth, of humanity, of the countless struggles and triumphs that defined her species. She felt the pulse of life, not only of this planet but of countless worlds. Mara understood then that bravery was not measured by victories alone, but by the willingness to act for the good of others, even when unseen, even when uncertain. Humanity had faced extinction, war, and disaster, yet they rose again and again, not through power but through heart. The energy subsided, leaving a quiet warmth in her chest. Mara stepped back, feeling a deep connection not only to Arendor but to all beings capable of courage and compassion. The alien queen smiled, her expression filled with respect. You have faced the trial of the heart and emerged stronger. You have proven that humans, though young in the universe, possess qualities that can inspire, protect, and endure. Yours is a heart capable of greatness. Mara's team gathered around her, each breathing heavily but smiling. Kesh laughed softly, a mixture of relief and pride. I can't believe we made it. And without hurting anyone. Dr. Leon nodded. It feels amazing. Like we finally understand what it means to truly act with courage. Taro clapped Mara on the shoulder. You led us through this. We trusted your judgment and it worked. That's the human spirit, facing fear with heart. Mara smiled, feeling both humility and pride. We did it together. That's what matters most. The Queen's voice echoed one final time. Remember this lesson, humans. Courage is not the absence of fear, nor is bravery measured in strength alone. The heart that acts with honor, compassion, and unity. This is what shapes worlds and what earns the trust of others across the stars. Mara looked around at her team, the chamber and the glowing energy of Arendor. She understood now that the trials had not only tested their skills and courage, but their humanity, the qualities that made them unique and resilient. As they prepared to leave the chamber, the Queen's voice softened. Go forth, humans. The final trial awaits. But know this. The heart you have shown today will guide you, inspire others, and endure long after fear has passed. Mara felt a sense of calm resolve. Whatever lay ahead, she knew that humanity had a strength deeper than any weapon or technology. Their courage, compassion, and unity would guide them through every challenge the universe presented. The forest of Arendor stretched beyond the chamber, alive with light and mystery. Mara led her team forward, their steps steady, their hearts strong. They had faced the trial of the heart, and in doing so, had proven that the human spirit was capable of wonders even the stars had yet to imagine. The forest of Arendor stretched endlessly, its glowing trees casting soft light over the explorers. The golden glow from the palace shimmered like a beacon in the distance, guiding Mara and her team toward the final trial. Despite their exhaustion, they moved forward with a quiet determination. Every challenge had tested them: fear, courage, trust, and heart. But now they approached the culmination of their journey. The alien queen awaited them at a high platform, elevated above a valley of luminous rivers and radiant trees. Her eyes, calm yet intense, studied the humans as they ascended the stairs. "You have faced trials that would break the spirit of most," she said. "You have shown courage, compassion, and honor. Now one final test remains, an act that will define the trust between our worlds." Mara exchanged a glance with her team. They had come this far together, and no force could sway their unity. "We are ready," she said firmly, her voice steady despite the weight of the moment. The queen gestured, and a platform appeared before them, floating over a glowing chasm. In the center stood a strange alien device, a crystalline mechanism that pulsed with energy, its patterns shifting like the flow of stars. "This is the beacon of unity," the queen explained. "It can connect civilizations, sharing knowledge, wisdom, and understanding across the stars. But it responds only to those with hearts aligned to courage, truth, and empathy. Touch it, and its power will awaken. Fail, and the opportunity is lost." Mara felt a surge of awe. A device capable of uniting species, bridging galaxies. This was beyond any human imagination. Yet the test was not of intellect or strength, it was of heart. She knew that every choice she had made, every act of courage and compassion had led to this moment. She stepped forward, followed closely by her team. The beacon responded, its glow intensifying, patterns swirling faster. Energy pulsed through the air, vibrating through Mara's chest. It felt alive, aware of her presence, seeking the truth in her intentions. Mara placed her hands on the beacon. Instantly, visions filled her mind. She saw humans exploring distant worlds, sharing knowledge with alien species and acting with integrity even in the face of danger. She saw acts of courage and compassion throughout history, families helping one another, explorers risking their lives for others, communities working together to overcome impossible odds. She realized then that humanity's greatest power was not technology or weapons, but their hearts. They had survived, adapted, and thrived not through domination, but through understanding, empathy, and courage. Every act of bravery, no matter how small, added to the legacy of the species. The beacon's glow intensified, wrapping the humans in a radiant cocoon. Their hearts beat in unison, resonating with the pulse of Arendor itself. Mara could feel the energy flowing through her team, through herself and extending outward, touching the world around them. The beacon responded to their unity, their honesty, and their courage. The alien queen descended from her platform, her eyes glowing with admiration. "You have awakened the beacon," she said softly. "Your hearts are pure, your courage true, and your compassion unyielding. Humanity has proven itself worthy not just of trust, but of partnership. Yours is the bravest heart of all." Mara's chest tightened at her words. She felt the weight of responsibility, but also a profound sense of pride. This moment was not hers alone. It belonged to her team, to all humans who had come before her, and to the countless generations that would follow. The queen continued, "Your species has the potential to inspire, to unite, and to lead through example. You have faced fear, temptation, and doubt, yet your hearts remained steadfast. That is the true measure of greatness." Mara stepped back slightly, looking at her team. Each of them bore the marks of the trials, tired eyes, smudged clothes, and small bruises, but also a quiet glow of accomplishment. "We did this together," she said. "Not one of us alone." The queen nodded. "Unity, trust, and compassion, these are the qualities that shape civilizations. Today, humanity has shown that you possess them in abundance." The beacon's energy spread further, reaching into the forest and illuminating the alien structures, rivers, and creatures. The air seemed to hum with life, as if the planet itself celebrated the human success. Mara could feel the connection between species, the unspoken understanding that respect and courage transcended worlds. Suddenly, the rogue faction from earlier appeared, emerging from the shadows. Mara tensed, but the queen raised a hand and they halted. Their expressions were wary, yet respectful. "We have watched your trials," the leader said quietly. "We doubted you, but now we see the truth. You are not here to conquer, but to understand. You have earned our respect." Mara's heart swelled. Even those who had doubted them now recognized the courage and heart of humanity. She stepped forward, offering a hand of peace. The rogue leader hesitated, then took it. It was a silent acknowledgement that trust could be built even after fear and suspicion. The Queen's voice echoed through the chamber. Let this moment be remembered. Across the stars, humanity's name shall carry the mark of courage, compassion, and wisdom. You have proven that even in the vast unknown, the heart can guide actions, inspire others, and change the course of worlds. Mara felt a deep warmth in her chest. The trials, the challenges, and the risks, they had all led to this moment. Humanity had been tested by an alien species far older and wiser, yet they had not only survived, they had thrived. They had shown that the human spirit, when guided by courage and heart, could rise above fear, misunderstanding, and doubt. Dr. Leon stepped forward, eyes shining. It's incredible. We've done something no one else could have imagined. Kesh grinned. And we did it without hurting anyone. That's something to be proud of. Taro added, this is more than a victory for us, it's a message to everyone out there. Humanity can rise to any challenge, even among the stars. Mara looked up at the Queen. Thank you. For trusting us, for guiding us, and for showing that courage and heart are what truly matter. The Queen smiled, her form glowing softly. You have earned your place among the stars. Your actions today will inspire not only your species, but countless others. Remember this, human. Bravery is not measured in battles won, but in the hearts touched, the lives uplifted, and the integrity upheld. The beacon pulsed one final time, its light enveloping the humans. Mara felt a sense of completion, as if the trials had unlocked a new understanding, not just of herself, but of humanity's potential. They had faced fear, conflict, and impossible choices, yet they had remained steadfast, compassionate, and brave. As the light subsided, the Queen stepped forward, lowering herself to meet Mara at eye level. You have shown what it means to be truly brave. Yours is the bravest heart of all. Mara felt a lump in her throat. She had never felt more honored or humbled. I will remember this, she said softly. We will carry this lesson back to humanity. The Queen nodded. And through your actions, your species will grow. Courage, unity, and compassion are forces that can shape the stars themselves. Go now and let your hearts guide you wherever the universe takes you. Mara turned to her team. We made it, she said, her voice steady but filled with emotion. We've proven what humanity is capable of. Dr. Leon smiled. And the universe will remember us, not for weapons or power, but for our heart. Kesh laughed softly, shaking his head in disbelief. I never thought we'd see the day when aliens called humans brave. But here we are. Taro placed a hand on Mara's shoulder. This is just the beginning. Humanity will face many challenges in the stars, but we now know we can rise to meet them. Together. The Queen stepped back, watching the humans with quiet pride. Go forth, brave ones. Your journey has only begun, but the light you carry will shine across galaxies. The stars themselves will remember your courage, and the hearts of countless beings will follow your example. Mara and her team turned toward the path that would lead them back to their ship. The forest of Arendor glowed around them, alive with light, energy, and life. Mara felt a deep sense of connection, not only to the planet and its people, but to the potential within humanity itself. As they walked, she knew that the trials had changed them forever. Fear had tested them, challenges had shaped them, but courage and heart had defined them. Humanity was more than survival. More than ambition, it was the ability to act with honor, compassion, and bravery, even in the face of the unknown. The alien queen's words echoed in Mara's mind as they approached the ship. Yours is the bravest heart of all. And Mara knew, without doubt, that humanity had proven itself among the stars, not through weapons or conquest, but through courage, unity, and heart, the qualities that would guide them in the universe for generations to come. The Odyssey awaited, ready to carry the explorers home. Mara took a last look at the glowing forests of Arendor, feeling a profound sense of pride, hope, and responsibility. The stars stretched endlessly above them, full of mysteries yet to explore. But she knew one truth that no distance or danger could erase. Humanity's heart was brave, unyielding, and ready for the challenges ahead. With a final nod to her team, Mara stepped aboard the ship. The engines hummed, lifting them from the glowing forests into the vastness of space. And as they sailed among the stars, Mara felt the weight and wonder of what they had achieved. Humanity had faced the unknown, and the universe had seen the courage, compassion, and